Hello everyone and welcome to the New York Empoleon's semi-final battle of the APA Evolution League Season 1. We are here this week taking on Lapis and the Aussie Kangaskhan's, and I have to admit something. I had this battle over a week ago and just did not get around to recording it. So I may not remember every play, but that's what happens. I don't usually post-com. Usually I'm pretty good about doing it, like the next day or so, but here we are. Whatever. But anyway, we see that she has brought the Hippowdon, Suicune, Heatran, Megaladios, Sneasel, and Heliolisk, where I am going to counter that with the Tapu Koko, Gardevoir, Nidoqueen, Rotom, Vaporeon, and Incineroar. If you have no idea what I'm bringing or why I'm bringing it, I encourage you guys to check out the team builder, because there's one of those for every single battle this entire season, and we will hopefully have one more after this battle. So let's get this one started. Right off the bat, she is going to lead off with the Hippowdon, which was the lead I was expecting. I wasn't sure if she would be Sandstream or not, mostly on the grounds that I just wasn't sure if her team wanted the chip damage that was going to come with Sand. Now, I know Suicune doesn't super care about it, and Heliolisk is fine also, but at the same time, I do think that the Megaladios doesn't really appreciate the chip since its recovery has to be a move, and stuff like that. That being said, I felt like Incineroar was my best lead. I do have the Sugar Berry, and I can take any one hit from this and anything else. And it does allow me to just go for the U-turn, scout out for a Rocky Helmet, which I don't see, and go out into my Rotom, which has Defog and can be a pretty good counter to this Hippowdon. Now, I know the Hippowdon might stay in on my Rotom just because I can't really touch it, but I know it also can't really touch me. So we are going to be put in a situation where Will-O-Wisp is pretty free. Heatran could come in, but I just don't see that. And if the Sneasel comes in on the Rotom, then I definitely want to catch that with the Willow. And he actually goes for the Yawn with the... she actually goes for the Yawn with the Hippowdon, excuse me. And we are going to be able to defog this turn. I don't care if my Rotom goes to sleep so much, and that will be my basically sleep fodder, and it's fine. But she can't really touch me with anything, so I'm going to be able to just stay in and stay asleep, like just chip away my sleep turns, be able to defog later on in the game if I need to. And we do see the leftovers. I'm stalling out sand turns, so it's not a big deal. And I do wake up. I don't this time go for the defog, and I don't go for the Willow, though I thought about both those plays. I decided, since it was the first turn, I was just going to click Hex. I didn't know if she would make the read that I might wake up first turn, so I decided to just go for the Hex. It does nothing to the Sneasel on the switch in, and I am going to go into my Incineroar at this point. And it's a free knockoff, and I know that, but there's not much I can do about it. And my Sugar Berry is gone, but it wasn't going to be too useful at 50% anyway. And I'm just going to go for a knockoff of my own, try to knock off the Choice Band or whatever item that Sneasel's holding. I didn't get a great chance to get, it wasn't a roll that was guaranteed to be a band, so I wasn't sure. Could be Jolly Band, but it might also just be like Adamant. So anyway, knockoff comes out, knocks out the leftovers on the Suicune, which I'm totally cool with, and we are just going to go out into Vaporeon at this point since I'm not going to outspeed the Suicune. As the Suicune goes for the Roar and roars me right back into my Incineroar, taking 25%, and that's not great. That's not the mon I wanted to go into here. I do just stay in at this point, can't really switch out and take the Scald and go down. I think Incineroar definitely still had value left. It was my Sneasel switch in, and that's really unfortunate that that Roar hit. But she does go into the Hippowdon at this point. I know it's not Rindo Berry. I know I can definitely hit it with a Grass Knot, and at +1 with a Calm Mind, it's going to do a ton of damage, aka knock out the Hippowdon. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that my Coco wins the game at this point, although she does go into her Heatran, which takes less than 50%, or just over 50%, and then goes for the Toxic. I wonder if she's going to make the switch now into the Latios to try to stall out my my Toxic and Sandstorm damage that's going to rack up on my Coco, but I decide just to go for the Thunderbolt. It's safer, as the Latios does come in. Now, I don't know if she's going to go back into the Heatran or staying with the Latios. Either way, Vaporeon's really safe. I thought about just clicking Thunderbolt. I was like, you know what, the safest thing to do here is just to click Thunderbolt, bring this Megaladios down to where it can be easily revenge killed, and the Heatran will die if it switches back in, and I'm at +1, which means I outspeed everything that isn't Scarf, and the only thing that's left that can really be Scarfed is the Heliolisk, and that's, much more dangerous if it's Specs. So I go into Vaporeon here. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have stayed in with my Coco. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, Vaporeon takes the Toxic here and goes for the Scald, which does not KO the Heatran, and that failing to KO is just super unfortunate, because I do go for a Wish at this point, knowing that the Heliolisk or the Suicune could easily come in, and I can go out into my Gardevoir which is really my one thing to check this Heliolisk. And you're going to see Hyper Voice is going to be Choice Specs damage because I am Assault Vest, which isn't ideal. It is doing 50%. Moonblast does not get the special attack drop, and it forces me to go into my Rotom at this point. Knowing that she's Choice Specs, excuse me, I keep doing that and I apologize. Knowing that she's Choice Specs, I am just going to go into my Rotom at this point, which I do go for the Defog, which means the Heatran does survive one more time, and she can go out into the Sneasel at this point on my Hex to try to kill the Heatran, and once again, this time the Rotom has to go down because I don't have a switch into the Sneasel anymore, and the Heatran is still alive, which is not ideal. I do have the U-turn, and it's pretty safe, but the Dazzling Gleam is not going to be able to take out the Heatran, which means I need to take a lot of extra damage on my Coco, and she's going to get a free chance to click Lava Plume, and my Vaporeon is getting chipped down. Goes for the taunt. That taunt was a huge play. That taunt was an absolutely massive play. I'm just, like, I clicked Heal Bell, I can't get it off, my Coco now is damaged. I should have just killed the Heatran when I had the chance to, but unfortunately I clicked Scald, and the Heliolisk comes in. I have no switch into this, so I have to clicking Scald, and does not actually get the KO with the Hyper Voice, meaning that I do Scald it back to 80%, and that is a big deal because it means that I can't KO it with a Dazzling Gleam from the Coco, which is my win con right now. Now Nidoqueen, I have to go into Gardevoir here. It does get the KO on the Heatran, but the Gardevoir coming in on this Psychic means that I can't now take the Shadow Ball, and now I have to go into Coco, and I can spam Dazzling Gleam, which is pretty nice, but you're going to see that I'm going to click Dazzling Gleam. It's not going to be a 2-hit KO because of the fact that I had to Scald into this thing. It lives on one. Low roll into a mid roll means that it lives on one, and that is going to be the end of the New York Empoleon's run here. We are going to take out the Heliolisk, but we're not going to be able to take out the Mega Latios. Now, I do think that if I had managed to get the rolls on the Heliolisk, even at the end there, and kept my Nidoqueen at full health, my Coco could have still gotten the kill on this Mega Latios, and the depending on if the Sneasel had Ice Shard or not, this game could have gone very interestingly, but that is the way it goes. Lapis, great game and good luck in the finals. Obviously, some seasons come to an end prematurely, and I do believe that this 3-0 loss was not what I wanted out of this season, but that's okay. We always have more seasons and more content coming your way, so made a really good run. Finished the season 11-3 if you include the playoffs in my record, with I think like a plus 25, something like that differential, plus 23, I can't really remember, but really solid differential, really solid season. So I'm perfectly content to say, you know what? You win some battles, you lose some battles. This was my first time facing Lapis. I did not get the chance to face her during the regular season, so I didn't really get a chance to see her playstyle, and that's the way it goes. So thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys all back here next time when we continue to take on other leagues. The UBL is still happening. I will be doing the TBL Summer League content on my own Twitch channel. I'm not in it, but I am hosting it. And the TTM, I'm going to participate in the TTM Summer Showdown league and all that, or the tournament and all that. I don't know how far I'll get. But that being said, I'm just going to hang out and have some fun with it. So, all that's happening, and I'm definitely not just like done with Pokemon. Yeah, it sucks to lose, but at the same time, I had a great season, and I loved this team. Possibly my favorite team I've ever drafted. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.